Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 61 of Smalltalk. This is the Smallville Rewatch podcast here on the channel. I'm one third of your co-host. My name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Started off the season on a bit of a stumble, but then it got hot, and now we're on a slight dip. Not much, but enough to notice. But we're going to be talking about three more episodes today. Joining me, as always, from 3D Movie Cinema, it is Jacob Collins. Jacob, how was the Chinese?
It was terrible and it was disgusting.
Matt Wyatt, how are you?
I'm doing great now. I'm finally fully better and I'm ready to go. And I'm excited to be back recently for Small Talk and just covering this episode. Sure, this one's not as strong as the other three that we covered last week, but I thought they were pretty solid. But Committed is kind of the weakest of the three, in my opinion.
Well, I can't whistle past the graveyard because I was gonna say oh Matt, you're better, and then Jacob gets sick, and then I get sick. And I'm
I'll
not.
just say I got a little food
I mean, you
poisoning.
never
That's
know. I
all.
mean, like you might get sick from whatever it is that it is from.
Well, in that case, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, do the thing, and that whole thing. Just a bit of a programming note. Next week is the regular episode, but Thanksgiving week, we are going to be taking a break for the holiday, and there will be a best of in its place. I'm gonna make the finesse the calendar. I probably messed up the calendar just spitting it off of the top of my head, but Thanksgiving week there will be a regular there'll be
Best of season five, I think. Are we on season best of season four or season five?
it's 4 or 5. I'll have to double check, but it's
Well,
it's good.
I think you probably only did the best of season three. I don't know if you did for four and five. I don't think I remember
I
that.
think you stopped at four.
I I I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think you might have stopped at three. I believe.
I kind of like the best of because there's some really funny stuff in there, especially
Yeah, we pick our funny moments that we
I
do when
still
we
laugh.
poke fun of everything.
I still to this day watch that one clip of me where I'm talking about where Aaron and Sean Ashmore when it's like he said he got the boombox and then like puts the song boombox and it's just like I now every time now if I watch Smallville that scene now I just want to see it like oh my god that was such a missed opportunity. Even that song did not exist yet, but still it would have been so funny to have. Now what now when especially when the song says now what happened next will blow your mind. And I'm like, well, he's not lying. What happens next is pretty incredible.
Yeah, but
Flashback.
and the
Boom.
boombox sent
I
me.
like the
I
line.
I
The
was just
boombox.
I was done when I saw that boombox. I was like, this is the year of our Lord 2002 this was released. First of all, like what year does this guy think it is? And second of all, the black
1998.
trench coat. The black trench coat. Tell me you've just seen The Matrix for the first time without telling me you've just seen The Matrix for the first time.
How much did your clothes cost in the Matrix?
I know reference. That reference is from Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy is from Grandma's Boy.
Wow, JP, that is a great outfit. How much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
Hey JP.
Hey Samantha, don't take the red pill.
Hey JP. I wonder how much clothes cost in the Matrix. I am JP. He talks like a robot. I am JP.
I hate your face.
Also, I also love how he literally hypes how he brings a boom box, literally a boom box, and sets it right there, like as if like he. I was thinking about Batman '89 when like the Joker has a henchman with a boom box. It's the sole purpose is to
Yeah.
carry a boom box.
He just thinks he's cool. He thinks he's all big and bad because he has all Clark's powers now. And yeah, the trench coat was a little bit too matrixy, a little bit of far
Oh,
stretch for him to wear it.
Ryan, put the song "Lonely Island" boombox into like as a clip when when you're referencing boombox.
But then I walk in the room, hold my boombox high, and what happened next will blow your mind.
I will try and find it, and I will do it for you.
Don't say it and don't on for you.
End of flashback.
But regardless, there's going to be a best of coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. But we're on the road to the mid-season finale. We're almost there, but we've got 3 new episodes to talk about, so let's get into it. Starting off with Season 8, Episode 5, called Committed.
least 3 couples in the last 2 weeks have vanished without a trace.
The trail of a serial killer
What kind of person would prey on people during the happiest time of their lives?
We walk in pretending to be the bait.
leads to more than just fear.
Do you love this man?
Smallville, all new next Thursday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
After Jimmy and Chloe disappear from sight for a bit, it turns out it has been against their will. Lois and Clark pose as a couple to flush out the kidnapper. So Lee Winnell and James Wan might have had a bit of a lawsuit waiting on their hands because this is basically Saw 11? Or, well, no, I think
By
Saw.
that point, 2008, what was it? 2008 was, so this was Saw, I want to say Saw 2 was 2006, 2007 was Saw 4. 2007 was Saw 4, 2008. So this is Saw 5.
Correct.
So this was
It's even down to the pale green lighting that you see on some of the scenes. I'm just like, wow, the new showrunners Blockbuster Hall must have had just like a Saw fest all week or something.
Yeah, the new showrunners just literally just brought back from the Mercy episode from Lionel and made it more like a sequel of Saw for this episode.
at least the mask. I will say, at least the mask is better than the Mercy episode.
I kind of like the Mercy mask. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just
The other
tinfoil.
one is like, ugh. I don't know
You're
how I feel
Lionel.
about that.
It just looks like something you would see.
Well, no, the
like
other
on
one
a
was
YouTube-
trying to literally be like fucking Jigsaw. This guy was just being a fucking nutcase and just covering his face. He didn't even cover his voice. He doesn't
I
have a
will say-
voice changer.
I did enjoy though, like the mask. You know, the kill. Did anyone ever see the movie Valentine starring David Borealis? And
I have not seen that movie.
it's a movie basically that's a ripoff of Scream, where it takes place about a guy who goes around killing people on Valentine's Day and he wears a mask just like that guy's mask. And I'm like, this, or you know what? It also kind of reminds me of the mask in Happy Death Day as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Mass is not really that similar to from Happy Death Day. That was completely different from that.
Yeah, but I'm
one,
saying like in
comparing
the
to this.
idea of the look of it, where
Oh,
it's like
right,
wearing
yeah.
a whole black
Yeah.
outfit and then a mask right there to cover your face. I'm like, that's what I was just like watching, going, these masks. Well, I mean, Valentine's for sure, but like I'm just saying, like these masks look very. Cue the Spider-Man 3.
Similar.
Well, when it comes to the shows like this, that they like to recycle plots that have been done before. I mean, it's nothing new when it
There
comes
are
to
two
network shows.
episodes, two that recycle the same idea from past episodes.
Oh yeah, for sure they did.
Identity and this are two, even though I like Committed, even though shouldn't it be called Commitment instead of Committed, because Commitment.
Committed just doesn't make any sense.
It sounds like
Commitment makes more
I had
sense.
to go back and look and say, did they use that title?
The title of the episode just doesn't really make any sense, to be honest with you. It should have been like the Lex Luthor episode when he had himself when he got committed by Lionel. That would have been to make more sense for the title of that episode. Commitment is just about the relationship, the love, and all that shit. That's marriage. That's what.
This is our first time criticizing the title of the episode because it makes no sense.
It took 8 seasons, but we finally got into episode titles. It kind of reminded me of when Metallica named their song "The Unforgiven" instead of "Unforgiven," and then we got "The Unforgiven 2," and "The Unforgiven 2" was a badass song, but I'm like, just call it like "Unforgiven." Like, why is the in there? It's so weird. It's such a choice.
Hey, drop the.
Oh, I'm just, yeah, isn't like, but I mean, just like, you know, nowadays, but that's what DC does now, though, with stuff where it's like, oh, instead of calling like Batman, because they've already used Batman 89's title, they just call it The Batman.
That's true. They did.
Or
Yeah,
Suicide Squad.
Well, that's what the Ben Affleck movie was going to be called, The Batman, and they still took the title when Ben Affleck left the project, and they had to, when they met Reese signed on to direct, and he rewrote his own thing, and they kept the title The Batman. But for Megan Keaton's Batman movie, they're just going to call it Batman 89, and that's what us fans, we're calling it Batman 89 and not just Batman.
Talk about a missed opportunity on the part of David Gordon Green for naming his Halloween film Halloween instead of The Halloween.
Yeah, because there was a couple of revival of fucking like horror movies like Halloween, for the David Gordon Green's version, they're just calling it Halloween, which draws a lot of confusion. And the Scream 5 movie is just called Scream.
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but then like the 2022 film is called just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm just like, I mean, like I said, just because you remove the doesn't make it not still the same title. It's just like the Terminator, okay? Terminator 1 is called The Terminator.
Mhm.
Eventually, they're going to do a sequel or a reboot. James Cameron will be. And like, oh, this one's called Terminator. This one's not called
Yeah,
The
he'll just call it just Terminator,
I'm
and
just
just
like,
take out the.
most people don't even know that the is in there.
Well, we're getting way off topic, so let's bring it around town. This episode was fine. I like the best part of it for me was when Jimmy and Chloe are actually in there. I thought they were going to be in that situation the whole time. And
I did too.
I would have preferred that, but they get out pretty early and then Clark and Lois get in there and Lois confesses, which is a nice moment, but then they kind of sort of undo it, I guess, and they're gonna do the whole like, will she tell him? Maybe. And I just like, God.
I
They're
love
playing
when she
they,
said
no, yeah, but they're
yes.
playing off the suspense. That's what they're gonna do. That the next love relationship between Clark and Lois, they're gonna play it off, stretch it off for a while.
I love that when she said, like, he said, "Do you love her?" And he goes, "Yes." And I'm like,
I mean,
"Oh
he didn't give the answer. He did not answer that question.
no!" He gave a headbutt instead.
Yeah, you just give him a headbutt and took the kryptonite
Which,
fucking bracelet off of him.
you know what made me laugh though? You know, like I love when Lois was drunk at the beginning, and then and then like Clark later, literally, she's the next scene. She's at Clark's house, and she's in his jersey, and she goes, "Who addressed me?" Said, "You addressed yourself. You actually took like an hour. Like it took you an hour to
It
get
took
dressed."
you an hour to get dressed.
It's like that made me laugh. It's like, and she
I
got
was
like,
so yeah, I love the part when she was hungover. That was the best part about that episode.
I was laughing.
You get moments like this, it's just hysterical.
When I heard
Especially we listened to that answer machine that she called at the talent. I loved how she was given a compliment to Clark being his own little knight in shining armor. That was the funniest part that I just died.
when
And
I
she was
heard
so
when I
wasted.
heard when I heard Lois when I heard Clark say Lois took an hour or so to get undressed, I was just sitting there thinking to myself the meme of the guy going, "What do you mean by that?"
What do you mean by that?
Hour. Clark
Did
was
he
like
literally
this.
watch her get undressed the whole time?
Clark
Was
said,
he
"Are
really
you?"
standing sitting in the living room watching her in the kitchen?
He wasn't. We know he wasn't even use X-ray vision because he's like, she's never.
He
Oh,
doesn't
he's
need
just sitting.
one. He wouldn't need one since she was undressing herself.
He's like eating popcorn with Shelby in his lap, going, "Need help in there?" And she goes, "No, I got a
Need some
small."
assistant? Need some assist?
Like, I'm perfectly fine, Crash.
And then he's like, "Well," and then he just picks her up by the jersey and just puts her on the couch with one hand. And then he like, "All right."
Remember those two buckets that she vomited on? He was like, it's like taking a cross country trip. She vomited very badly.
I mean, also the thing. Also, I had some issues with this episode as well. I mean, I like this episode a lot, but like, I do like that, like that Lois and Jimmy being affected by this guy who looks like the kid, like he being kidnapped by this guy, and like Clark stopping. I also like Clark stopping Lois from stepping off the curb. Like, remember how they're walking on the curb and he stops her like this, like in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie when he stops Stan Lee from crossing.
Yeah, that's the
They're like
one.
walking, and all of a sudden he does his hand like that, and she stops. He's like, it's like, nope. Also, and then when Oliver comes in and sees them, like their wedding ring, and he's like, "What's happening here?"
That was hysterical. Watching Oliver's reaction that they're at a ring shop getting a wedding ring and pretending that they're engaged. Like, whoa,
Must have been a hell of a night.
unexpected. Like, wait, what?
This was
Sounds like
sudden.
He's like, "Sounds like you two had a hell of a night last night." So, yeah, there are things that I did find disbelieving. Like, for one, like, really, all right. So the dude shot Chloe, and instead of Jimmy yelling help, he looks at Chloe, then he looks at the guy. Like, literally, like the so cliche thing where all of a sudden he just literally she shoots Chloe instead of going help, help, and instead he's just like, "Chloe."
It's
I
the
was like,
same reaction of the guy on the island when he got shot by the arrow. Like Jimmy gets shot and he's like, "Why you do this?" Collapse.
literally, the door was open too. I watched the scene over just to see the door was open. Like somebody would have heard that. There were people literally standing outside that door a second ago. They walk inside, but the door was open. And then they're like, "Yeah, you want to go have sex at the house?" Yeah. And all of a sudden, this guy shines his lights, and you're like, "Oh!" And then Chloe gets shot, and then Jimmy just goes, Chloe. And I'm like, in what world would that happen? You get shot, and then you're like,
It was almost like the killer was just waiting, like, I'm gonna give you a tight 5 seconds to cry for help.
nope, he didn't do it.
Okay. Like,
Like, he gave him at least 5 seconds. Like, that dude literally gave you. This dude is actually the nicest, probably killer, the nicest abductor, because he literally gives you a chance. Like, he's not trying. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't wanna kill you.
he literally, if you pass this test, he would literally let you go.
like the
Like
part
no
in
question.
like the part in Shrek where Shrek goes, "This is the part where you run away."
So, did you see the couple that does the dead bodies? That wasn't it creepy when they find the couple's dead bodies in the chair?
They did not pass it. They're his test.
Wouldn't he get rid of those bodies though? Like,
Are they really trying to play this whole intimidation of sending in an idea what would happen if you don't play his own game?
The smell in that room must have been awful because not only do you have the sewers, but then you got 2 dead bodies down there. Not like
Well, it was more of a basement to the fucking from a fucking store from on the top of the
the
room and
the
on
only
floor.
thing that could top a wretched smell like that is Axe body spray, but I digress.
that's a shot at Axe body spray.
All 5 people that still use it.
Like, my dad uses it at the my dad uses the body wash for Axe body spray.
He uses the Axe fucking body wash.
Yes, he is a trucker, and he said it's
That
easy to
explain
get
well,
that.
that would explain
It's
it.
easy to get it anywhere you go. That's the easiest body wash you get. That's why.
Like the body wash is fine, but I like when I was going to high school, like boys my age, they were just like, I don't need to take a shower. I just go
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those people that had Axe body spray back in high
I
school.
had chocolate.
I used to
Axe
spray
body
the
spray.
shit out of my fucking clothes when I was like, "Hey, I don't need to shower."
Y'all remember chocolate Axe body spray? I had that chocolate.
No,
I
I
had it for
never.
Christmas.
I've seen someone who had a chocolate body spray. I was like,
And I broke out with the rash. I looked like I had poison ivy on my
I
hand.
remember this girl was fucking like, "What the fuck is that smell?" Like, ugh, when you spray that so fucking hard.
What the fuck is that smell?
It was
What the
like
fuck?
the scene in
Like, dude, women
Anchorman.
are not into this shit. You're not impressing anyone with an Axe body spray.
It's like
Like-
that scene in Anchorman wherever Paul Rudd sprays that.
That's
Like,
exactly
it
it. That
smells
was
like
literally
a diaper, a shitty diaper that's burnt hair. It's
that's literally it.
just like, which you know what, I will say, also that couple just they look like such a early 2000s couple. Like, that dude just looks like he would be on the Maury Povich show or something. Like, that guy.
You are not the father.
You
He
are
just-
not the father.
Like, I saw that.
And the
dead
husband's
bodies.
like, yes.
I
Does
mean,
a
it just
backflip.
looks like he looks like a guy.
Oh my
you would
god!
see on
I
Maury
recall the
Povich show.
Maury show. I remember my grandma who used to babysit me. The fucking puts it on every time I come home from school. Maury show's on.
And also the villain is the same guy who was the doctor in season 2 who captures the Remember the
Oh,
archaeologist when
yeah.
he finds the cave? He gets superpowers, and then he's like, I have to destroy the traveler.
No,
And
that's
then-
not the same. No, it's not the same guy.
That's
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 not-
the doctor.
No, that's not him.
I'm
Oh, the
not-
I'm not
you
saying-
mean? Oh yeah. You mean the doctor who treated that guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No. I
Yeah.
stand corrected. You're right.
Because
I didn't remember it. I can't believe I forgot about that.
he
That's the
shoots
same
him with the
actor.
thing. Yeah,
It's
he
been a long
shoots-
time.
Yeah, he shoots him with the trank dart.
Yeah.
And I could have swore he's also in season 1 as like a janitor who opens the door, and Tony Todd jitters him, and he goes through.
Oh,
wait.
I don't think that was the janitor.
I know. I think that's the guy who was in the Kane episode for season 6.
maybe.
Yeah, I know one of them. I know. Yeah, this guy though, he was the doctor in season 2.
Yeah. You're definitely right about that.
And he
Now
shoots he shoots.
Duh.
I'm like, that's the same thing that shows you that they bring back the same actors to play different roles.
it's no new. Network shows do that all the time when you run a show for so long, and sometimes they have to cut down with the budget and they can't afford like another actors to play different characters, so they always bring back the people that they've worked with before, and
I'm
they
glad
expect
Arrow didn't do
us as viewers to not notice.
Well, I mean, also the fact is that also Canada doesn't have a lot of casting agencies at that time.
That's true, because you're
They
in
were not,
Vancouver.
like-
Dude, you're in Vancouver. You're not going to have a lot of casting
Like,
calls
by the
from
time
that.
by the time Supernatural and Arrow and all them got to their footing, by the time Arrow got to season 1, they already had casting. They were already set up base, and so that way they're like, oh, we don't have to just we can have. That's why Arrow. You didn't see the same people in Arrow. Which I will say that it is kind of funny when you're like, isn't that guy? There's only one person. I will say that I would believe that is the same character, and I'll tell you off camera, man. I'm not telling Ryan.
But
But
do you remember? Do you remember why that they keep bringing back the same actors from a high school kid who's literally playing the same type of jock, but one of them gets killed off. A couple of them gets killed off in season 1, then to season 2, and then in season 4.
well, they never said that's the same. Is a different character. I mean, I will believe.
I don't. I think no. That was not the same character. That was a
I'm like,
different character. I mean, because the second one that died was the one with the who had the meteor power to do the kiss of death, and they age and they turn old. That was the one that died during the opening of the episode when they were in the swimming pool
yeah,
at the
I
meet.
know. And then
Yeah,
later on when
yeah,
Lana gets
the guy was
possessed.
dead.
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, they just needed background actors. That's why. Also, why is the dude torture equipment so medieval? Like he has to literally just do it like he's just going like this the whole time. Like, get some better equipment, bro. Like,
Apparently he's
2008,
tight on the budget.
and he's
I'm
over there
tight on
doing. You gotta charge.
He's like,
He wants to be a little bit theatrical.
he's like, I spent all my money on this the kryptonite bracelet, and the gun and the mask.
I mean, how
and
convenient that
the
he's wearing a
spotlight.
bracelet that has kryptonite in it, so Clark can have a little bit of a stake attention with
He
the
just kept
character.
doing this, going. He just kept doing. I'm laughing because it's like you're so bad at this. This is not like at least the other guy plotted. I mean, his was unrealistic. This guy at least was just like
One little question that that kind of always had me question about the scene with Chloe when she was being tested. That he was asked, "Is she in love with somebody else?" And she says no. But with her abilities with Brainiac, could she have beat the lie detector
I think that's
machine?
what it was. That's what I was.
I
Gonna
think
bring
she
that up. I
beat the
was
lie
like,
detector. I think she did.
I agree.
because Brainiac's in her, and so she was
Because
like,
it makes sense. Because she has the abilities of Brainiac and she could be able to manipulate the system.
Also, two other things I just want to point out. I do like that. Also, I do like that besides Oliver and the jewelry store, I like Mercy and Oliver too. Like I like how they hook up.
Yeah, Oliver was all about trying to bury the hatchet and try
Oh
to
yeah,
date Tess.
he was taking his arrow and putting it in her Tessie.
Oh
I bet
boy.
that's exactly what he was doing.
That was literally I thought of that joke earlier, and I'm like, Oliver put his green
You really
arrow.
thought that one through.
He put inside Mercy's Tessie, like just like I was just sitting there thought about that earlier. I was like, she got the tip of the arrow, if you know what I'm saying.
You have a dirty mind, Collins. A dirty mind.
Well, I have no doubt about it.
Also, I do like that Lois and Clark go to the test and how like Clark said, "Oh yeah, you beat the lie detector," which I'm like, Clark, are you that dumb? Like,
Yeah,
literally, she's like,
We as viewers, we know she's full of shit. There's no way she would have done that because the guy would have noticed. He was so more careful and pays like close attention, a sharp eye on what they're doing.
I'm just saying. Also,
Oh yeah, I slipped it out of my finger. Bullshit.
And that's what kind of kills the episode for me a little bit is like, like, oh, friggity frag, we're gonna do
Here's the thing. They really that's what the
thing
showrunners are
again.
doing. They want to stretch this out. They don't want to suddenly just
This is
have them
basically
become
Moonlighting,
together.
the show Moonlighting, where it's like, will they or won't they?
They're building
Will
the
they?
suspense of are they or will they?
Well, the
It's like
thing
we
is,
had
we've been
this
through
stuff for
7
Lana.
seasons of the freaking
I mean, they did the same thing with
so-
Lana. Yeah, they did the same thing with Lana. It's another cycle again with this bullshit love story that they had to build it up, stretch it out for a little longer.
Well, Ryan's like, shit or get off the pot, please.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking when this happened. But regardless,
I did like the call. I did like that moment of the callback in the elevator scene when he was telling Lois, "Oh, it's still the safest way to travel." That little bit of callback to Christopher Reeve Superman. That statistically speaking, safest way to travel. Callback.
all right. Well, let's go to ratings. Collins 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
All right, Matt. What about you?
Look, I don't think it's a terrible episode. It has its moments that I really liked, but in my opinion, as I brought it up before earlier, it's the weakest of the 3. So I'm still going to give it like a 6 out of 10. It's okay at its best.
I'm going with Matt. I'm going 6 as well. Like as soon as like Clark, like it was like, yep, you beat that lie detector. I'm just like, You
It was like,
can't fix
really,
stupid.
dude,
You
really?
can't fix stupid. I just so if it focused more on Chloe and Jimmy, they were way more interesting in this. If it focused on them, it would have been a higher grade for me.
Dude, you know what the funny part is that Jimmy set that up in Chloe's room, his little
Or the hemp.
romantic love making, and he has the fucking cups. Like, wow,
Jimmy's got
Jimmy's
a
not
kinky
so
side.
Jimmy
Re
wholesome.
remember when Clark got married to the one girl in season 3 or 4?
Yeah, Alicia. I
Yeah,
remember.
Alicia.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, he was like, but yeah, it's like everybody. Oh, there is an episode coming up in a season and I don't, I'm not gonna say which season, but wow, it is so out there. It's so out there.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about.
I
It's
think
so
I
out
know.
there,
I think I know what you mean.
and you're just like, and it rips off a famous movie too. This episode rips off a famous movie that came out around this time.
Something
Right.
tells me I'll know it when I see it. But
You
let's
will know it. Everybody in the world would know it. There's even a line that says that movie, the title. And I'm just like, oh my God. I was like, I get that this movie was a huge hit, but do they really have to do a whole episode about it?
well, let's get into this next episode, season 8, episode 6, called Prey, not the Predator movie we got a couple years back that was really good.
There's this darkness inside me fighting to get out.
All the victims died the same way and their bones were crushed. Davis. What did you do?
Clark, there's something out there. Whatever it is, it can kill you.
Smallville, all new next Thursday at 8/7 Central.
A serial killer is on the loose in Metropolis, and Clark always seems to be one step behind him, while Chloe's paramedic friend seems to think he blacks out and performs the dirty deeds himself. So we've got movement on the Davis front, and
And return of Sam Witwer. Woohoo! Sam
Yeah,
Witwer.
now we got Sim Witwer in this episode. It's a little bit of a centric episode
I
of the
mean,
mysterious
every
of
time we
who's
see
doing the
Sam
killings.
Witwer, we just want to go, woohoo!
Yeah, the Sam Witwer is great. He's
He's just
incredible.
awesome. Every time you see him, you're like, you know what? Even if
You
it's a
can't
bad.
resist his acting
Yeah.
chops. It's just so good.
All right, so Ryan, do you have what is your idea of who he is?
Since now that we got a little bit know who
We should
Davis
just keep
is,
asking every
a
week.
little bit of a mystery.
He'll know
Because
by
we,
next
because we
week.
know,
I
because we know
guarantee
this,
100%.
because we know that
you
the
will know.
Shadow Meteor Freak by the end of the episode was just a copycat and try to take the credit for what Sam did. And they had the crucifixion from the victim in the earlier episode that he killed has
And
it
he
in
took
his
her
ambulance.
finger, and he took his remember her nails? He was
Yeah, her nails. Yeah,
Yeah,
the dirt on her fingernails and the DNA thing. And he's constantly blacking out, and there's murders going on, and he's covered in blood that aren't his, and he's confessing to Chloe that he may be the killer.
well, my money is on Doomsday.
Possibly.
That's my prediction.
It's not a bad choice. I mean, your first choice was Darkseid.
Well,
You
it's
still-
honestly, I mean, I was leaning the dark side route, but then I was like turning it over in my head, and I'm like, it's one of those two. I mean, it's gotta be.
You might be right. You might be right about that. Your theory may be correct, but also without spoiling anything, because I know we're going to cover this next week for these 3 episodes. But
You'll
the
know
bride,
by next week.
but yeah,
100%.
you will know who it is
If you
by
don't
the
know
time
next
you
week,
get
you're
to
fucking
by the
stupid.
time you get to the mid-season finale called The Bride. You'll know exactly who Davis Bloom is, and you'll know the reveal of it, and it will be revealed in that episode for sure.
Yeah, he could be. He could be Doomsday. He could
Maybe.
be Zod. He could be Brainiac, or he could be Lex Luthor's clone. Oh,
Because the thing is,
Well,
like,
the clone thing, I don't know about that. They're not identicals. I don't think it would make any sense.
because Darkseid or Doomsday seems like the logical choices because Lex has just left the show, unfortunately, but he just left.
Yeah.
Brainiac is no longer a factor, so
Well, for when,
Yeah,
when it comes to
Darkseid,
Chloe, when it comes to
Metallo.
Chloe, because Chloe has Brainiac's powers, so we don't. It's not a little far off from that.
he's
you
not
got Brainiac,
he's not what he once
Metallo.
was. He's not what he once was. I'll just leave it at. I'll refine my statement and I'll just say he's not like where he once was.
Mm.
But
So
I'm saying
the
you also
Metallo-
got Zod. You got Metallo. You
Well,
got
the Metallo. Well, here's the thing: the Metallo is more like a cyborg that has kryptonite heart. a charged cyborg. So I don't think that would make any logical sense if they want to go off the source material of that.
The show's
We also
barely
got.
touched. This show's barely touched Krypton, so I don't think they go quite that far.
I mean, you have Darkseid, you have Doomsday, you have. I'm trying to think of all the Superman villains that have not appeared
Well, he
yet.
doesn't have really that many villains in comics and animation. He goes off
Well, I mean,
very
he's got
afield with them.
Livewire. He's
Maybe
got
live, maybe.
Toyman.
Well,
He's got
Toy Man. I don't know.
Mixapidi,
Yeah, he does have Toy Man, Mr. Pitts. Well, we already touched on that Mr. Pitzelic in season 4. We already touched on that character in that show.
Zod. He's
Yeah,
already
Zod. That is a possibility that he could be Zod. There is a possibility on that one.
he's got what you'll figure it out like by next
But
week.
because here's the thing, Superman doesn't have many rogues gallery like Batman does. Batman has a fuck ton of popular like rogues gallery of the villains.
You want to know how deep Batman's bench is when it comes to villains? A villain right now has his own TV show, The Penguin.
Yeah, I still
You
gotta
know
get.
what?
I still need to watch the rest of that show
I
because I've
I
only
have
seen one
not.
episode.
You only seen one episode? I mean, I'm almost done with it. I mean, I just have like 2 episodes left,
But
and I
people are
was.
saying nothing but great things about
Oh
that
yeah,
series.
and it started out like okay in the ratings. Now it's gone way up. Like 'cause
Oh
people are like,
yeah,
it's
a
that
lot of
good.
people are loving the Penguin show, and the ratings have gone up and up and up. Because right now, the show is labeled as a limited series. There's still a possibility that they could still do season 2 of the Penguin.
I just hope they don't mess like the Batman 2 up because the Penguin was successful.
Because
Like
I've
they
heard
don't
because
try
I've heard
to.
they're leaning towards the Batman part 2 by the end of the show.
Yeah, I have not seen the rest of it yet, but I'll let you know.
I
But
know. I got to really binge watch this all the way through. I've only seen the
it's
first
good. I
episode.
have not like it's like it doesn't feel like a Batman show, but in a good way. Like it's
Good.
not bad.
And also, I'm glad that they're not going to bring Batman into the show. They really want to keep that. They'll tease him and they'll mention him from
Yeah,
time
like
to
there are
time.
characters that are in the movie that are in the first movie that are in the
Did
show.
you hear
Like
that there was
they're
a
like
rumor going around that they were going to use Barry Keoghan as a Joker series, and James Gunn literally debunked the
yeah.
shit out of it. It's like we're not making Barry Keoghan's Joker series. We're not doing that.
Well,
And I'm
You
not
know what
and
I
I'm not
wish?
surprised that WB will never have a Joker series in live action.
Oh, you
Because
hear?
he's
Oh,
too
also,
valuable as just same as Batman.
oh yeah, Tom Welling also said the other day that they're trying to pitch a Smallville show, but they're waiting on they're pitching it to Warner
Yeah,
Bros.
they're pitching the revival animated show. They've been
And
trying
they
to do
said
that for
everybody's
years.
on board.
Oh yeah,
Everybody,
they are on board. I'm just hoping that it
even
will
Allison
happen,
Mack is
but
on
I wouldn't
board.
but I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't get made because I feel like that they really want to focus on James Gunn's Superman movie because he's such a valuable character that they want
You
him to
don't
be in a
think
cinematic movie.
you don't think if the longest running Superman
Same reason
show.
why they wanted to end the show of Superman and Lois because they don't want to have multiple Supermans at the
But
same
here's the thing:
time.
they didn't really. That's a misinformation that people keep spreading. They did not end. James Gunn did not end it because the CW was bought by Nexstar. Nexstar said that they fired half the cast of season 4 because they couldn't afford them because the budget because the shit's so expensive. So that's what originally the plan was, not to bring half the cast back, only bring the main actors back. But then they decided, well, let's just make it a final season. And then like the president of that network bashed saying, well, I mean, they want to make their Superman movie, and that's why. And I'm like, you literally are the one. This guy literally was the one that said we're going to make it cheaper season 4 because we can't afford. Now this guy's like, well, James,
You could definitely tell. You could definitely tell from season 4 that there's not a lot of Superman action in the show.
I mean, well, to be fair, I've not seen that.
But I think that they really are saving it for the finale because they don't want it to from the midpoint of the show because there's 10 episodes and it's the final season.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see a lot of Superman action from not because you get to see him a lot of action in the beginning, but the fight between him and Doomsday and the finale is just really good about him and Lex Luthor.
I will say one thing that
But I will say the final season is really good so far. I'm really
you
enjoying
would
how
not
they're
like.
going to
You
wrap that
think the
up.
studio would pass up a Smallville? I mean, they would do a Smallville in a heartbeat.
Oh, if that were the case, it would have
It's
happened
10 season
already.
show. It is
But
the
dude,
longest running
if this
best.
were the case, it would have happened by now. It would have happened
Well,
already.
they keep saying they never
they've been
pitched it.
trying to pitch this to WB for years and still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, because they keep saying they're waiting on the showrunners, and I'm like, just pitch it. Like the worst thing they could say is yes or no. The worst thing they could say is, look, we're not going to do it. I mean, that's the worst case.
It's not that I don't want it to happen. I want them to
Right.
do a revival animated show.
Well, two things. Number one, I hope that it does get made, the Smallville animated show. And number two, if it does get animated, we will cover it on this channel.
Oh, for
It'll be
sure,
called
dude.
animated small talk. No,
Oh, like this will be the sequel Small Talk podcast.
I'm not gonna lie, I would watch the hell out of it. I don't care if it's
Oh yeah,
22
I would
episodes
too.
or if
I'm a
it's 10.
Smallville fan, and as a Smallville fan, I would be fucking
You
happy that they're
know,
doing an
with the
animated
original
revival.
showrunners,
Al
it
Gough
would
and Miles Miller.
absolutely, it would be so good. I mean, it
Well,
would be
to be
so good.
fair, because they're working on like Wednesday's show, and they did
And
the sequel of Beetlejuice, so they got a lot of shit. They're busy. They're very
that's what
busy.
Michael Rosen said. They're waiting for them to be available, and they said after Wednesdays too.
And also with animation, they don't have to worry about the casting's age when it comes to
It's
animation.
cheaper. That's what James Gunn said.
It's
Creature
better. It's better
Commandos would
than
have been
doing it live
expensive.
action. Because if you do it live action, then you're gonna have to fast forward in time.
Uh-huh. Which, and also there's the people you can replace that are not longer with us and stuff that you can.
Oh, you can definitely do that. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But here's the thing: did you see that he said that Allison Mack is even going to come back as Chloe?
I doubt that severely.
He said that literally. They literally had a panel that said that everybody's going to come back. John Glover, Michael, and he said Jonathan Kent, all those are going to come back. Allison Mack and all them. I'm like, wait, whoa. You don't think that's going to be a little controversial?
I don't know. Maybe it might have been miscommunication or something. Like she's on board to do it, but we don't know for sure that they're actually going to let her be on board to do this show.
Maybe he was just saying that, like, you know.
Yeah, I think he's just spewing out like shit in a moment like this.
Or maybe he could have just said the cast, and then someone just put the entire cast and not.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Prey though. Now we're back to season 8 of Prey. Back to like the not so great season of Smallville, the haves and the have-nots of Smallville.
Has its downside, has its upsides and downsides for this season.
I will say I do like the fact that I do like Davis, and I like the fact that I do like that the Clark going around saving the day at the beginning of the episode. I thought that was really great, where he's just like going around just doing like his Superman thing.
He's listening to AP, he's listening to AP radio, and he's super speeding around Metropolis doing his saves. And yeah, he does get a little bit of the Superman moment.
And also, I like how they got the bully. It's like a kid getting bullied by teenagers. Clark just pushes the
just pushes him like.
I was like, I thought that was so funny.
That was cute. That was a little cute moment for helping out the little guy.
Like, be gone.
Yeah,
kind of a little bit reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, with a little kid got bullied and he jumps right over the fence and scares off those two teenagers.
Only Spider-Man didn't beat the shit out of them before.
No, he just scares them off. Like, what?
Superman did. No, Clark pushes.
I did appreciate that scene in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 when he just walks him home and makes sure he's safe. I kind of like that. He has a little bit of a bonding moment.
Also, I like that. I also like that John Jones is a detective now. Like,
how did he do it? It's beyond me. How did he make detectives so quickly?
He went to the fortress. Oh no, he can't go to the fortress. He went to the fortress and got
the fortress is destroyed right as far as we know that it's destroyed.
Maybe he literally was like, "Look, is there anything I can do to get on this thing?" And he's like, "You're hired."
It's like
I did.
Yeah, he probably made up a lot of fake,
he rubbed the guy's
documents
knee and said, "Is there anything I can do?"
I think it's because he's been on Earth for so long, he kind of figured out how to pull strings and forge documents to his resume.
Look at the Martian Manhunter. Like in Supergirl, he literally was the head of the DOD.
Yeah. So, he was impersonating someone else.
Yeah.
Who was the head of the DOD.
Well, you know what? I will say he can. Well, actually, he doesn't have his powers.
I did like the fact that Clark and John Jones are teaming up and doing their little detective work of who's doing the attacks, who's behind the whole thing.
Did y'all like? I don't know. There's no way though that cell phone footage would have captured it does not look that good in 2000.
No, because I remember fucking flip phones and shit. The quality is dog shit. There's no way that.
What show are we watching right now? This is the show where it makes everything look like 8K when in reality it was shot on like Pantech,
which is so funny.
I will say that there's one time that they made it so realistic. Was like, do you remember in season 5 with Lex searching for Milton Fine and they had the handheld cam in a chase when he was emailing him? I thought that was the only time that it was more realistic footage than any other that we've seen.
Well, it's funny. Tom Welling on today's because they're on
Talkville.
season 5.
Yeah, it was Talkville.
And he said that Tom Welling said that they spent the reason, like he, I think, actually clarified why they do that now, why they make it look so good, is because they could just shoot it with the regular camera rather than using a handheld camera. Because Tom Welling wanted to make there's a footage of a handheld footage camera in the scene with the little girl that has carry powers gets abducted, and he said they spent 4 hours shooting that scene because he wanted to make it look real, and they were so that Alan Miles were so mad at him because of that because you wasted 4 hours.
I mean, I guess I can't fault the logic, but at the same time, it's just so funny when I grew up, like it was like when you made your phone like flip up or like do like this thing, like it was the coolest thing ever. Now we have iPhones, we got Androids, and they're like smarter than us.
Yeah,
You
the
could
phone
literally make.
literally
I
is
mean,
smarter than
nowadays
us.
you can't say like if someone says, "Oh, that isn't."
It's kind of cool that we kind of miss flip phones like that. How they can just close, like the way it sounds and stuff. It's kind of cool. But now, because now that we have one of these things now,
It's like when you hang up, it's way cooler. Like Jim Gaffigan had this thing of like when it's way cooler, like with flip phones, like go away, clack, and like nowadays,
clap,
like it's like go away.
ding, ding, ding.
Shout out.
Oh
Which
God, I remember the old days of flip phones.
also, there's no way that somebody had their cell phone out randomly, just like, and then just the doomsday, the doomsday of the monster and everything. Davis just shows up and just starts killing everybody. It really just doesn't make sense. The
Well,
tragedy.
he has no memory of what happened when he's responsible for the killings because he has blackouts. But I did like the part where he was bouncing through foster homes. We're getting a little bit more of the backstory of who Davis Bloom is and how much of a complex character he really is, and the one thing that really bothered me is that Chloe just suddenly doesn't really believe that he could possibly be the killer. And he calls her out like, dude, you really don't believe that it could be me? Even when we just met? You're
He
not gonna
also tells her
you're
this is the note I put on my notes. I'm like, you just met her the other day, and now you're telling her like, oh, you might be a killer. You're lucky she doesn't call the cops.
It's like, dude, you literally just confessed. You confessed that it was you.
It'll be like if I just
And
confessed.
Chloe's like, no, it's not you. No, it can't be you. Nah.
Like
Nah.
as soon as I saw Davis and Chloe in the same room to myself, I was saying to myself, "Oh my God, they're going to try and make a triangle. It's like Jimmy, Chloe,
The love triangle. Yeah, the love triangle
and
with Dave
Davis."
is
I
Jimmy.
noticed that the
I mean, don't
second.
you
I'm
think
like, oh.
they kind of dumped Chloe down a little bit in this episode? Don't you think that they
Just
kind of
just a
did?
bit, yeah. Like
I mean,
when I
dude, he's literally confessing of what he did, that he's possibly the killer, and he's literally shown you every red flags as possibly he can, for including the blackouts, and you're still don't think he could be that could be him.
and Chloe didn't pick up on any of it. In the words of Ron White,
You know what? The next time you have a thought, let it go.
I mean, especially when she has Brainiac's ability, she still is not smart enough to figure this shit out.
Which, by the way, I do like that. I do like that. Also, there's a funny scene where he showers like the blood off. Sam Witwer, I think on Michael, I don't know if it's Mike was on a podcast or at a convention, said he was angry because they wanted him to shave his chest, and he's like, "I'm not shaving my chest," and they're like, "I have a hairy chest." He's like, "No, you got to shave your chest," and he's like, "I'm not shaving my chest," especially that there was like they wanted me just to literally the producer was just like literally they literally wanted me to have like body baby oil and everything and just like me to shower and like there's a bunch of people just sitting around watching like
like
no it's like you have to because
Sam, my brother in Christ, just shave it. It'll grow back in three.
Just manscape it, manscaping.
and then like Tom Welling joke I think it was at a panel because Tom Welling joke and then I was just there lubing him up and people are like why is Welling here he's not shooting it but no, but Tom Well, but yeah, he says they wanted me to shave my chest, and I'm like, no, I'm not shaving my chest. So finally, the compromise was, all right, I will do it, but I don't want no baby oil and stuff on my body. I'll just shave, and then
Are you sure you don't want a baby oil? Because
it's like, I don't want
ladies won't be like that shit. That will get the ratings up.
I'm gonna have to look back. He was like when he was doing a panel with Michael Roseman, and then he says, "I'm not shaving my panel. Like, I'm not shaving my chest." Like, and it's just like Michael was like, "Isn't it worse that you're going to shave your body?" It's like that's everybody's like that's the one rule to be on Smallville, and if you're a dude, they're gonna make you shave your body. Like, and then Jimmy
I mean,
Olsen's
don't you
like,
think that the first Superman actor, Henry Cavill, is the first actor that we see him shirtless, that has hairy chest, that they never get him to shave it off?
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining. Like, can you imagine? You're like, I get to be on Smallville. All right, what do you want to do? All right, want you to shave your head, and then we want you to shave your body. And you're like, okay, the head part.
That's what Michael Rosenbaum bitched about all the time by when he shaved his head every hour of that fucking when they were shooting the episode, especially when he had to shave his chest, his back, and all that stuff. He had to do everything.
Well, yeah, because Lex Luthor has no body hair. That's established in continuity.
He's kind of the only one who has had a little slight nudity, half naked, aside from Tom Welling. It's like, why do I get to be naked?
Like, it's like all the men on the show, they're like, all right, look, men, like the women, they don't have to be nude, but like the men, you have to be like nude. It's like that's the only time that was reverse sexism. You're like, well, why am I gonna be naked?
That was like the reverse of it.
So like
a weird friggin' hill to die on.
Oh God.
Like literally, it's like, all right. So we need you to shower. All right, we need to disrobe and shower. Okay, all right. Cut. Nope. Keep going. Cut. Nope. Keep going. And then like, okay, there's more people are crowding in this area. Okay, are you sure you don't want to cut? No. We'll let you know. There's more people watching me shower. Okay. I was like,
but I did like the shower scene when he's washing all the blood, and and none of them were his, and he's discovering like none of them were his.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
But also, we discovered that Clark was calling Davis out, that he was been keeping photos of dead bodies of the victims in his locker room.
Dexter Morgan would be so ashamed of this man.
That's the one thing that I will point out, that there's another, well, not Blockbuster Hall, but it's another TV show hall that they borrowed. He's literally the Dexter character.
It literally is.
I didn't think about it until I brought up the locker scene of him a photo of dead bodies.
Also, Jimmy meeting Davis Bloom, I thought that was really cool that they finally got to meet, and they took him on a ride along. Didn't you think that he was going to kill Jimmy?
I thought I don't think he. Well, I did thought he was going to kill him, or was going to kill him.
I loved the line delivery that Davis had, where they're just driving along and nothing's happening. It's like, some nights are busier than others.
Which I'm also like, all right, this literally hit me earlier when someone brought this up to me, and my family was like, most EMTs just don't drive around looking for an ambulance. They literally are just waiting.
That's
at the hospital waiting.
Dude,
for
EMTs do not fucking patrol the neighborhood. That's
around like
that's literally like a cop's job to do that. The EMTs gets called in whenever there's a dead body or injured victims.
Like, you don't.
They don't know. They don't go.
Emergency.
They literally don't fucking go out on a patrol. That's what cops do.
Yeah, the reason why they don't go on patrols is because if they run out of gas and there's like an emergency, how are they going to get there back?
Yeah, that was a one logic decision that was so not realistic.
Just driving around looking for an emergency.
We're just going to drive around looking for any
run all this gas going out.
on. Like that's what cops do. That's what fucking looking for. Literally, that's what fucking cops do.
Car accidents.
EMT's jobs that they get called in whenever there's a dead body or is injured victims.
Well, we've got one more. We've got one more episode.
But we want this. We want this fucking crazy event to happen to push the plot further.
I also like Davis and Clark's confrontation.
Yeah, the one I brought up earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, there's other stuff too that Davis pointed out, that Clark has been snooping around crime scenes before the press reported it. I like that he just reversed it back to him.
Didn't you feel like Tom Welling overacted in that one scene where he was just like, I know you do. Like, I'm just like, okay, ease it back, Tom. Like, you're not like, okay, ease it back.
He was always suspicious of Davis.
Like when he went like full, okay, you're on Jared Leto method of acting. Don't pull back. You're at he
went very hard. He just went straight hard on Davis, just like that.
I was like, that's
accusing him.
Like, go back one. That's what I said. Like, go back.
But also, he was not far off because he's literally pointing the dots to Davis.
Yeah. Which,
Chloe failed to mention earlier what Davis told her when she was with Clark about the whole fucking thing. Like, are you kidding me?
Also, the tire would have killed the tire.
The tire when Clark threw the tire after that meteor freak, the shadow meteor freak.
I've seen Final Destination 4.
It's like, dude, I'm 90% sure that he pretty much killed that kid.
It would have literally his head would have been lunch meat on the floor.
Yeah, dude, you would have been dead. Especially at that type of strength that he threw straight at
I
him,
don't care if you're a
directly at
shadow
him.
or not. That would have killed you.
Yeah, you're just
Literally
a
the
shadow guy,
only,
but you're not invincible.
literally the only good part of Final Destination 4.
Getting your intestines sucked through a pool.
Yeah, there's good kills, but the movie sucked.
That whole movie was shot in Louisiana, by the way. I did not know that.
I'm not surprised about that.
But let's go to ratings. Collins 1 to 10.
Oh, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. Pretty good episode, better than the last one.
We are simpatico. I'm going 7 as well. The Davis stuff is by far and away the most interesting part here. Sam Witwer continues to crush it. Everything else is just kind of there, but I have a feeling that Witwer is going to take a Michael Rosenbaum slot in that even if the rest of the stuff is just there, he's at least doing something interesting.
I will say with the villains, these 3 seasons with the villains, they always I said, the villains are entertaining, to watch.
Oh yeah, they're for sure entertaining. I
Like
agree.
you don't you never get I've always said, even with I have problems with 8 and 9. I will say the villains
I will say that
never had a
9 is
problem with.
for the era that for these new showrunners for the rest of the 3 seasons. My favorite one is 9. 9 is my favorite of the 3.
I would say
And
that
9
too.
it was
I
a
agree.
way better story.
Storyline.
It had
The
a
first
way
3
better
episodes are
storyline.
just the first 3 episodes are amazing.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree. I mean, yeah, 8 is not the best, but it had some moments that I really enjoyed. But 9 really stepped it up more. And
9 was
it really got back into the fold of what Smallville is supposed to be.
No, it does not. It literally
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did for 9.
season
It
9
did for
feels
me.
like a Superman show. Superman, not a Smallville show.
You know what I mean? The tone of the show.
Right. Well,
I
don't
know
spoil
what
too
you mean
much
by
for
I know
me,
what you mean by
please.
that.
I haven't seen it yet.
But that's a hint. I mean, it's literally a Superman show. Smallville is a Superman show.
I am aware, but
Ish.
but please don't spoil.
I'm not saying Clark's gonna be flying in a cape and going like Miss Lane.
No, because that will defeat the purpose.
I'm aware, but just let's just move on now. This is our final episode of this episode, season 8, episode 7, called Identity.
Get a picture of his face!
Oh my God.
This is the kind of story that careers are made of.
Tess is gonna publish my secret.
It's time.
Smallville, all new next Thursday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
Jimmy takes a photo of Clark using his super speed while saving Lois from danger, but it comes out blurred. Tess decides the story should make the front page for the Daily Planet, exposing the mysterious new superhero that. Chloe refuses to continue helping Clark protect his secrets, so Clark turns to Oliver to help when Jimmy gets too close to discovering his secret. Meanwhile, Lois meets Sebastian Kane, a new reporter at the Daily Planet who has the power to see people's memories by merely touching. He has been hired by Tess to find the missing alien crystal. So Sebastian Kane, that's a normal name for a reporter.
I looked. That's not literally Sebastian Kane. I was like, is that I was like, is that like Brother Blood from but I'm like, no, that's not. Sebastian Kane is not. That's just a Smallville. That's just literally just a random name.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing familiar. I mean, Sebastian Kane almost sounded familiar that I'm supposed to know something, that it might be a comic book character, but apparently it's not. I try to remember what other stuff that he was in.
Hang on, I'm pulling it. It is...
That dude was in the Alley Cat Strike movie. I remember it was
that one. I remember that was a Disney Channel movie. Then he was in the Cheetah Girls. I believe that was the one he was in.
The actor's name is Kyle Schmid. He is currently on NCIS Origins, so he is going very strong right now. He's done a lot of...
Well, they did hundreds of NCIS. Like fucking hundreds of them.
He's done a lot of TV. Let's just leave it at that.
He's also probably Canadian, I'm willing to bet.
He's definitely Canadian.
He's from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. So yes, you were right.
Okay, no, all right, yeah. So it wasn't. So Brother Blood is Sebastian Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I sent you something in the DMs. Check it real quick.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
I did not realize I said something, Matt.
Yeah, I did. I realized what you said and
I know,
what the fuck,
but I was
dude?
describing something.
You got caught in a moment. Like, what are you doing?
I said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, this is my favorite episode of the 3.
I didn't like this episode. I just thought, honestly, it just feels like the same episode. Like,
You didn't like how they recycled the plot from season 6?
it's like, yeah, like how, like, oh, Lois thought Oliver, now Jimmy thinks
You know
Clark.
what? I accepted this one. I didn't mind it as much as you did, but I thought it was a really good one. I thought it was executed well. But the one thing I did not like is when Clark was saving Lois in the beginning, and he steps right in front of the camera. Why didn't he just destroy the fucking camera and destroy the evidence if he didn't want to be shown?
2 words.
And he just and he let him take the goddamn picture and didn't even do anything.
2 words.
You're in super speed. You could have snatched that camera and fucking smashed it.
2 words. Heat vision. Like, go to town.
Could have fucking just heat vision the shit out of it.
Or Jimmy might have done like Topher Grace in Spider-Man 3, have the small camera just go click.
It just seems to me, the way I took from that scene when he was staring at the camera before he saves Lois and just blur away. I think he deep down he kind of wanted to be seen by the people since he's doing all the saves.
Also, like, wouldn't let, like, he's sitting there. Jimmy takes that photo before Clark even runs through there. Like, he takes that photo. So shouldn't he just get like a lens, like literally like just a lens flash of Lois just doing this before she even. And instead, it looks like he took the photo as she was falling. And instead, he took the photo before she fell. And I'm just like, I'm like, there's no way that he would have caught Clark. He would have probably saw Clark coming into frame, and that's if.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's where I'm like, when I saw the flash, I'm like, there's no way you took the photo. It would be the end of the photo. It wouldn't be the beginning of the photo. Or
the timing just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right for the timing.
It should have been literally when it should have literally been like him pick his camera up and then Clark super speeds, and then it would have made sense. Because he picks his camera up and then, as you know, because it's slow motion, he hits the flash, and then that's when that would have made more sense to me at least. Instead,
I did like in this episode where Jimmy was about to put 2 and 2 together of who this blur is.
He looks at his laundry and he goes,
he's seen his laundry, and you can see that Clark was getting rid of his red and blue clothing to avoid the suspicion, and now he's wearing different variety of colors because majority of the time from these past seasons he's always wore red and blue outfit as his, like, kind of like a Superman.
Because I'm the
outfit.
red blue blur.
I'm the red blue blur.
Which,
Jimmy is literally doing his own little
superhero name ever. The Blur.
Like fucking Jimmy just goes on a witch hunt, digging up on any past saves, kind of like what Lois did in Man of Steel, the one that was starting connecting the dots. I kind of like that he was able to put 2 and 2 together, because that's just a prime example that, yeah, you can try to hide it on, but you're always going to leave patterns behind you, and some of them is going to put 2 and 2 together and discover your secret.
You know what I really love about this season, I like about this episode. Sorry. I like how there's a guy who literally touches people, and instead of reading their minds, is basically where he just goes, like, it doesn't, it's
he sees their past memory, their past events.
It says he reads their minds though. Like, that's,
I don't think he really, well, yeah, he sort of reads their minds, but he just,
this and I'm like,
he kind of just like photograph projection of what in their past events.
He's basically a mind rapist, okay?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Mind rapist. Like, he's raping their minds, because he's like, he literally, and it's like, literally, I think I put in my notes, he rapes Tess's mind when he touches her.
That's a little strong word to describe.
Oh dear.
Like, literally, he grabs Tess without her consent, and then just like all of a sudden she goes, oh. And then all of a sudden she sees his mind. He goes, don't you ever touch me again. I'm just like, man, this dude just goes around being a mind rapist. Like, he's like, I can touch anyone I want. And I'm like, which Clark, he touches Clark. I'm sorry.
He saw everything.
Jacob's brain is breaking tonight.
Yeah, I think he's starting to get brain cramps.
I'm just laughing because it's like, he's
got sick little twisted mind going on right now.
He touches Lois, then he touches which yeah, but
I find it so fun. I find it so funny that fucking Clark is constantly gaslighting Jimmy, constantly gaslighting him.
Wouldn't it make more sense? Also, you know what?
I was like, dude, just fucking tell him. Just fucking tell the truth with Jimmy. You know he's got it. You got your back. I know you don't want to involve him, but you know what? He's gonna be in danger regardless of whether he knows your secret or not. I don't think it would make a difference.
Jimmy's trying to do the Pete Ross thing all over again.
But here's thing. Come on, you really think that they're gonna be in danger if they knew the truth about Clark? They were in danger long before that. Have we not remember past seasons? They've were already going to be in danger regardless of whether they know a secret.
Lois and Jimmy just be throwing themselves into danger. So, like, what is Clark on to keep
What do you
this?
think? What do you think fucking Lois does every goddamn day in her job?
Lois literally is the epitome of she literally walks across the line without a parachute. Like Lois,
She gets mugged, and she was about to get killed by this meteor freak.
By the way, what the heck was it? Like Tess literally like plots this to like expose Clark. So she gets a guy, hires the same guy to go out there, bails him out.
That's how he broke out. That's how he was able to get out of jail, was because Tess arranged his release.
And then says, "Do it again." And I'm like,
no, but she was gonna use Jimmy to try to find the crystal. Since Lois was useless, then now the other plan B, use Jimmy to get information.
I do like that, Chloe. I do like that there's also, I said it was, I mean, really, I do like that. Jimmy was like, he's like, "How'd you get here so fast?"
Oh yeah, I love that. I love when he called him out on this bullshit. He's like, "Dude, you were doing chores, and I fucking speed down to the fucking ISIS, and suddenly you beat me to it.
My truck is faster."
He was like, I took a bunch of shortcuts. What shortcuts? The fuck you talking about?
In the city, no less.
I just love how Jimmy just calls them out in this bullshit, and it was so fucking hilarious.
I wish you would have said,
"Show me a fucking map. You tell me you took shortcuts, and you were able to beat me to it."
Also, I would have been really, really funny if he would have said, like, "My truck's faster." Then Jimmy was like, "You want to go out there and race?" Well, right now, I'll go out there right now.
You want to race, bitch? You want to race, bitch?
Slips, Fast and Furious style. Wait,
yeah, let's go. It's all about the family. It's all about the family.
Wait, was Fast and Furious popular? I mean, I think there's like only two.
I don't know. I think because this was before. This was after Tokyo Drift, and Fast and Furious 4 didn't come out until like 2009. I think it was like 9. Yeah,
we're in this weird middle ground where it's like not to where it is now, but it's just coming off of it's a weird like fan.
It didn't get the whole popularity revival until 2009 for the 4.
Really
until 20 Fast 5 is what
4
really
was
brought
like,
back.
All right, it's back, and then 5 was like, oh, we love this.
Yeah, well, we can arguably say that the 5th one's the best one.
Whichever 5th one is definitely
even though it was even that the 5th one was kind of a blatant ripoff from The Fugitive.
5 through 7 is like the best of it.
I gotta say that the 5 and 6 were the better Fast and Furious movies. 7 I did not like as much, but the ending was the best part of the movie. That was the only thing I liked. The rest of it was like, it was kind of terrible. I did not like it.
I don't know. I kind of like it, but I mean, I will say that. Remember how we were like glamoring for a Fast and Furious movie with Vin Diesel, and now
I think that the people at the time when 7 came out, they were a little bit biased because Paul Walker's death, and they have a bunch of footage of film before his death. Then majority of the footage, it was done by a body double by his brothers, and then they paid the tribute and played the popular song at the time, and that's why they liked that film so much. If you take those out, I don't think it would have been, people wouldn't have been crazy about it. But at the time, it was Paul Walker's death. They were still mourning of his death, and that makes sense.
I still enjoy it. I mean, like, honestly,
I'd say if I look back on the film, I did not like it when it came out, and I liked the ending. The ending was what really got me. That was the best part of the movie.
I would say 8, 9, 8 after
then
that.
8, and then 9 and 10 were fucking horrible. It even got worse.
9 was like, I honestly walked into that movie, and I was like, this is awful. Like, this is just one of the worst. Like, there's a conversation.
You just realize that it's awful. You just realize that
was awful.
They went far beyond this bullshit logic, real world.
They go to space. They
literally became superheroes, and they're invincible.
They go to space.
Even Tyrese
go to space.
Dude, Tyrese Gibson literally pointed that fucking out in Fast 9, that they're invincible, that they can't fucking die.
They've death multiple times.
Even when he had a big fucking crane jump right on top of him, and he walked around like no scratch on him. Like,
Vin Diesel
not dead.
Uses nitrous, gets on like a bridge, a rope.
That's the only thing I appreciate about that movie, is that when Tyrese points out the obvious, that was the only good thing about that movie that I liked. I was like, yeah, you literally just point out the obvious that you can't fucking die.
Like, shoot me in the face right now. Let's see.
And I guarantee he's impervious to bullets.
Also, yeah, but I will say back to Smallville. Um, I did like that, like the guy at the end, the mind rapist, how like he was after
Mind
Clark.
rapist, goddamn.
I don't know
You
his name,
you
so
had you just had to add the rapist part. You just like that word a lot. Use
he's
that
a
word
mind
willy nilly.
rapist.
I feel like you like to use the rapist willy nilly.
No, I don't like using that term, but I was like, that is literally what he is. I'm sorry.
All right, before I think I'm gonna end this episode.
But I will no, I will. One thing that before we wrap this up, I did like when Chloe got flipped to the dark
that's
side.
what
because he knows who Clark's secret after he touched mind raped him, if you want to call it like that. But and then Chloe just went all dark side brainiac and fucking murdered him. Just straight up murdered
when she
him.
started speaking. When she started speaking, that
she
sounded
started
like
talking
Fine
like
was speaking.
brainiac.
It started,
she started
it sounded just like Fine was speaking.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like Chloe.
When she was like the human mind, and I'm like, Chloe never sounds like that. She's like, Chloe never. That sounds like Brainiac is speaking. It doesn't sound like she's speaking.
Yeah, and just straight up murdered him in the hospital bed. Like she flipped to the dark side.
So what do you think? All right, Ryan, going forward in these next 3 episodes, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, let's put a pin in that a second. Let's go to ratings first. Jacob, 1 to 10.
I am going to give this a 6 out of 10.
All right, Matt.
I'm gonna give it a 7. It's just as good as the Prey episode. I did like the part that Oliver got out of his own little shell and actually got back to being Green Arrow again. And I did like the part where he had to cover for Clark to protect his identity. I did like the whole back and forth conversation. That's the one thing I really loved about this episode.
I'll go 7.5, and I'll go a little higher because of Justin Hartley, of course. But as far as what I'm expecting, well, we've seen some movement in the Davis front. I think that's going to have something to do with it. I think he's going to be like the centerpiece of like these last 3.
But I will say next week the 3 episodes are going to be really good.
All 3 of them are really strong. I think, Ryan, you're
banger episodes.
We might literally. I'm not saying this just now because I have not seen these in a while. I will say these might all be 9 out of 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think that all 3 of them are pretty much a 9 out of 10.
Especially the first one is so good.
Oh, the first one, there's going to be a returning character, and we can't name who. We can't name who's going to be. And also, when we get to the 3rd episode, they're going to reveal who Davis Bloom is. The reveal.
Oh, you will reveal, and it'll be like, oh, wow.
It'll be a fucking horror movie. It's literally a horror movie.
It is so good. Like, and it ends on such a beautiful note.
But there will be parts in the episode of The Bride that's probably going to piss you off.
Well, on that note, I look forward to being happy and or disappointed or both. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. It's a privilege to do this show with these guys every single week. Collins, what do you got coming up?
Chinese food is what I got coming up. So,
oh boy.
But no, I have a movie review. I have not seen any movies lately. I don't even know for sure what I will do as of this recording. Like Friday, I myself am guessing. I wanted to watch Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning since I haven't seen it still yet. I still have not seen it yet.
Dude, you what?
I have not seen it yet. Still, it's on my literally on my Vudu. Continue watching because I started to watch it, but I stopped it, and I'm like, and then I've been watching all the Die Hard movies just for fun. I don't know why.
Stop that when it comes to Mission Impossible, bro.
And I'm like, I just like literally, and so tonight I might, since I finished, I'll watch all the Die Hard movies over. I might watch Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
I'm surprised you didn't go see this in theaters, bro.
I was going to, but like I literally was just so busy over the summer, so I couldn't.
Okay, that would make a lot more sense. Never mind. Like, yeah, that makes sense. You had a busy schedule, so you probably didn't have.
Although I did didn't it come out this year or last year?
No, it came out a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2023. I think.
Yep, it was the great flopbuster year of 2023.
Yeah, it was a bunch of blockbuster movies. Like, wow.
I saw the Haunted Mansion over Mission Impossible 3. I think.
Oh my, what? Over fucking Mission Impossible?
Y'all remember
what reality do I live in right now?
Y'all remember the Flash? Pepperidge Farm remembers. But
Even
Matt,
Indiana Jones flopped.
Dude, the Flash I liked more than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny because that was a fucking
I would
disappointment.
rather watch Indiana Jones and the Dollar Destiny over the Flash because the Flash was stupid.
I like the Flash more than
The
most
Flash
people. I
was a
don't care.
moron. He literally the whole movie. It was like literally.
Are you sure you're saying that just because you hate Ezra Miller right now?
I
A
know
little bit.
it
I
could
feel like
be
you have a little bit of a hate bias
James
when it
Franco could
comes
play
to.
the Flash, and if he would have played it that way, I would have still had the same issues.
I don't know.
we
I don't.
all
I have
we
a
all
hard time
come
believing
from
that.
we all come from many stripes in life, but we all can agree that Ezra Miller is an awful human being. But
Yeah.
Matt,
Like someone the other day said online, like, "See, he's vindicated now because they dropped one charge against him." I'm like, he's got 99 more charges. I mean, what are you what are you gloating about?
to
He's still got like to answer for 5 other crimes. He's still got to answer.
to quote Peanut from Jeff Dunham's act, polish a turd, it's still a turd. But Matt, what's your channel look like?
Yeah, I recently put out Terrifier 3. I know it's been I know I took a break from YouTube channel because I've been fucking sick for the past couple of weeks. It's it
I left you.
what?
You said a comment. I left you on Terrifier 3. Left you a comment on your YouTube page.
Yeah, you
Terrifier 3.
fucking commented like you subscribe to OnlyFans. Like you had to go. You fucking had to go there. You fucking dick.
He never
I was like,
responded to that
I was like,
either. I was like, what?
I never respond to stupid comments. I was like, oh wow, this is like every time he DM me some weird fucking shit. I was like, dude, I don't even respond to stupid shit like that. Especially when he DM'd me about the director of John Watts being a fucking child predator. Like, when the fuck did that come from?
No,
I know he's fucking trolling me right now.
No, what it was.
I was like, what the fuck did you get that information from? Like, who fucking told you this shit?
Full context. No, that wasn't what I said. I sent him a video.
You said the director of fucking Spider-Man Homecoming. You're referring to John Watts being a child predator. Or like,
I said
what?
one of the rapists is the
I was like,
director.
are you
of John
fucking
Watts.
kidding? This is like I get every daily basis with all the weird fucking DMs he sends me.
So you won't believe half. Y'all won't believe half what it's. But no,
Like he gets us so fucked up, and my brain nearly melted.
No, but what happened? No, what I was saying is in context for whatever. They made a Andy Signore from Popcorn Planet.
Oh yeah,
people. They made a RoboCop remake scene from like the scene where the RoboCop shoots the rapist's dick off in the movie. That's actually in the movie.
Oh yeah. Was it you're talking about the one with the original or you're talking about the remake of RoboCop?
The Andy Machete, not Andy Machete, Andy Signore, and got a bunch of buddies together, and then John Watts was one of the buddies, and then they made it look like okay, as the scene the RoboCop shows up and shoots the rapist's dick off. And then a bunch more rapists show up with their dicks out, and then RoboCop is just shooting dicks off left and right. And literally, and then John Watts is one of them. Rapist is with his dick out, which is a fake dick, obviously not. But John Watts is like his dick out, and then John shoots his dick right off. And then finally, a naked guy just shows up randomly. The one that looks like your movie suck.org. The guy who looks like you know what I'm talking about? YMS, your movie suck.org.
Yep.
I don't know that one.
That guy literally shows up, looks like that guy. He shows up, something disgusting happens, and RoboCop shoots his dick off. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, that was the joke I sent.
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck did that joke come from? Like, where the fuck did that come from?
The context that I was sending him was John Watts played one of the guys with his junk out.
So, that's not how I got that shit. I was like, wait, huh?
Sometimes I do send, like when I send messages late at night, I don't check my correction spelling and stuff, and so sometimes it's like just Dave's like reading something and goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's not what I meant." I was like, "He's okay," because I'm like, "I don't understand."
It's like, can you sure to correct that?
Well, on that
statement,
on that lovely note, follow these guys' links in the description. As far as this channel goes, I've got some fun stuff planned for the rest of the year, and I've already begun planning for 2025. It's going to be an even bigger year for this channel than 2024 was, if you can believe it. But got tons of fun stuff coming up. I'm thinking about doing a preview for what I got coming up in January, but I'm gonna table it for now. I'll just tease it a little more as we go on. But for Jacob Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cam. For Truth, for Justice, for the American Way, always hold on to Smallville. Y'all take care.